Hello there, it's Birdie here, the Recycled Hippie Chick. I thought I would show you what I'm doing before I sit down and get started so you kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this mess. See Mr. Rooster up here? I'll move this one. I made Mr. Rooster a few years ago. He's all out of torn paper and tissue paper. These are different colors of tissue paper. This is a piece of cloth. This is a piece of cloth. This is an eyeball that I cut out. It was a dog's eye that I cut out of a magazine. And then these are just book pages. I printed off on the computer a few words, you know, brother, where art thou? Live and let live, protected, ready to crow. The background is road map. Can you see all this a little bit up close? I ran around it with my Stabilo all when I was done. Yeah, that's what it is. My wooster. So, I'm making a few of these for an art show. And I thought I would let you see. This is the perfect example of when I tell you, you have to work through the ugly. No matter what you're doing, while you're doing it, it is going to look like a mess. But remember, Stabilo All Pencil is the mascara that adds the beauty at the end, to me. It just pulls everything together. I've got it up around the edges. I've got it around the edges here. It just kind of adds shading, definition to what things are supposed to be. I mean, come on, look at my ugly right now. This guy looks like an evil creature from outer space, and believe it or not, he's going to be beautiful, like the other rooster when I get done. So I thought I'd let you join me and see what I'm doing, and I'm going to put something heavy down at the bottom so it doesn't slide off that chair. I'm going to attempt to sit here and do it while you can kind of look over my shoulder. We'll see what happens, okay? Okay, here we go. We're going to see if I can't do this without getting in you guys' way. I got all my paper down on the floor below me. I don't have an easel. I used my iron to weight it down so it didn't slide on the chair. I got my French press going and I don't want to forget about it, so I'm going to sit it here until it's done brewing. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you can see the lines. I can see the lines where I've drawn his waddle. I've done a few definitions. Okay, those are just, don't worry about those. Those right here, those are going to all come out in the wash, okay? Because you're going to draw over all this with Stabilo, and the definition lines you're going to draw over Stabilo. So don't worry about all that, okay? And if you do get a line that's bothering you, that's inside, well, just put another layer of tissue paper over it till it kind of mutes it out a little bit. It's okay. Work through the ugly. It turns out beautiful in the end. Now, I found this napkin. It looked like it had kind of some orange on it. So I'm going to kind of work it up into his comb a little bit, maybe a little bit down in his waddle. I have to be careful. I don't want to get too much of a patchwork where it doesn't look like part of his body, because I kind of get excited and I just start gluing and I don't pay attention as to what I'm doing. So I'm going to start out with some of that, get it on there. So what I do is, and you guys can do it, I just seen one of these on Pinterest and decided I was going to teach myself how to do it. So don't think I'm some instructor that I've had proper learning. I'm just somebody who is willing to try, and if you don't like it, good grief, throw it in the landfill. It's just that easy. It's just paper, glue, and a canvas, and you don't even have to do your first one on a canvas. Do it on paper if you want. Some people take this arts and crafts too seriously, you know. It's just for fun, something to make you happy. Sometimes I just squish it around. I'm not doing that on purpose. I didn't get it all under the edge, and when I tried to move it, it lifted up. So hey, we're just going to squish it. I don't know what that flower is going to look like there later, but I thought it was pretty, so we're going to give it a try. I got a great big comb up here. I think I'm going to put some on. I drew this picture on my canvas. It is harder than you realize to draw on an area this big. So sometimes and it's hard to see because you're drawing over the top of a map or whatever you've made your background out of, you know. So it's harder to get the proportions right, harder than it looks. There we go. I just glue. I just start Mod Podging. That's what I do. And then if I think it's too much, you know, orange or yellow or whatever I've put on there, well, I just go over it with some red. I'm just wanting to put, like, up here at his comb, I'm just wanting to put some different colors to kind of define which from the different individual combs. So I try not to do red and red, you know. I mean, I'm going to go over it with Stabilo, so I guess it doesn't matter, but I just want it to look like a little bit of different shading. Also, when you're saving your tissue paper, every baby shower or anything I go to, I say, oh, let me have the tissue paper. Because you may have 1,000 pieces of red, but what you don't realize is they're a little bit of a different shade on each one of them. So it just really works well when you're doing paper collage, because these different reds together just look like you really knew what you were doing. When this tissue paper gets wet with the Mod Podge, it is so easy to manipulate. It's so fun. I'm covering up my orange here. Where, oh, where did my orange go? I might just rip it off right here. See how easy that is? You know, I started making these things and thought, shoot, I might as well do a video so everybody can get an idea on how to do it. At one of our Sister on the Fly events, I taught this. We had like an arts and crafts weekend, and I taught this to everybody, and everybody made their own flamingo. And oh my gosh, you're teaching them all the same process with the same materials, and every single one of them comes out completely different. It's so fantastic on how everybody puts their own personality into their art project. It's just so fun to watch. It really is. Before I'm done here, I'll show you my little flamingo. I'm happy with my flamingo. She's primpy. I like my flamingo. I can see her. She's hanging up in my art room right now. See, you don't realize it, but this is different color red right here. Let's stick some right here over that orange because I got some map shining through. Still got a teeny bit. Oh, this Mod Podge is sticking to my fingers, which in turn is sticking to my... Is my head getting in the way, you guys, when I lean forward? I have no idea because I have my... whatever you call it, my homemade tripod. Tiffany on Southern Girl Designs, I got an idea off of her video. She showed how to make one of these old PVC tripods. I call it a tripod. I don't know what it is. And so I made one because you can slide it under your table and it never touches your table. Have you ever watched a video where somebody's trying to show you an art project, and as they tap, 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 or do whatever on their table, the video's going boom, 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 boom? Makes me crazy. So Tiff came up with this idea and made a video out of it, how she did it. And that's what I did. I followed her idea, and it worked perfect. Thank you, Tiffany. And now I have my own tripod. I don't know what it is. Okay, it's time for me to do my coffee before it gets cold. You guys see what I did? I don't know if you can see it, but I put my coffee grounds in my French press, and just senior moment, poured my creamer into it at the same time. So I just went ahead and said, what the heck? I just went ahead and poured my hot water in, and my creamer is brewing. It brewed with my coffee. My little thing is crooked on top. And I'm sure it will turn out wonderful. Ooh, this coffee cup's almost not big enough for all my French press. Yes, yes. It turned out fine. Yum, Ola. Okay, now I just have to remember to drink it, because I'll go make coffee and let it sit here. And by the time, I just threw out a coffee that had mold in it that I sat up by my sewing machine while I was doing a project, and then walked off and forgot it, and sat there for Lord knows how long, and I just found it today. Welcome to Birdie's world. Okay, you guys know, those of you who follow me know that I do not do this to be an instructional video. I do this because I need to talk. I'm a talker. This is my therapy. It's art therapy. I love to do art and visit, but I don't have anybody to come over and do it with me. So I'm making videos and making y'all sit through it. So I want to tell you something, because I want to talk, and you're there. And if you want to see how I do my chicken, then you have to listen to me. You're trapped. I watched this video. I love to watch documentaries on Netflix or whatever, wherever I can find them. I don't really like these pointy lines, so I end up going over and just kind of smushing them over. And you might, that's artist choice. It's all about what do you like. Anyway, back to my documentary. I found this documentary once. It was called Elmo's World. And it was about the man who plays Elmo's voice. And how he, came about becoming Elmo. If you guys ever want to see a good documentary, look that up. Just keyword Elmo. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. What, the proper title is. But it's really, really good. This guy was a puppet maker. He made puppets at home. Where did he get the idea? Did he watch Sesame Street? Or was it Captain Kangaroo? Anyway, one of those shows got him all excited about making puppets. And this kid, from the age of 7, was tearing up his dad's sports jackets at home and making puppets. Well, it talks about how he just loved Jim Henson and Captain Kangaroo and all this stuff. And his local guy, the local TV show guy, had him come on and do a little spot on the local, on the local show. And somebody, I don't remember. I'm probably going to get this entire story wrong, so you go watch it for yourself. But somebody saw him, or I don't know what, but somehow, years later, the kid gets an audition with Captain Kangaroo. And he goes and takes it and gets it. And he's on the Captain Kangaroo show. And then he met some guy, and I don't know how. Oh, I know. The guy that does Jim Henson's puppets. They were going on a school trip to New York, and this kid, as a high schooler, took a bus while they were on the school trip and went over to meet the puppeteer that does Jim Henson's puppets. So he's there meeting him and takes a couple of his puppets along to show the guy. The guy's impressed, gives him some tips and tricks on how to, make them better, or what they use for eyeballs or whatever, some puppet, behind the scenes puppet stuff. And the guy ends up somehow down the road introducing him to Jim Henson. And he ends up on the Muppet Show with some other character, and he put such life into these characters that some other guy was given the part of Elmo, and he hated it with every ounce of his being and said no, he didn't want to do it, he hated it or whatever. And it ended up going to this boy, and this boy made Elmo a phenomenon. Well, what Elmo is today. And it just shows what this has done for this guy. Like, the people he's met. It's amazing. You should go watch it. I mean, this is not just a job. This was this boy's life. This boy had a dream, and he did it. And it's amazing. And nobody deserves to be Elmo more than this man that is. So, anyway, I'm not getting paid by Sesame Street to tell you all that. It was just a good documentary. That's good coffee. Okay, now, see how I'm slowly coming together? I'm already at 14 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to kind of continue on here and show you some other parts. I've done a couple combs, and I'm going to finish the bottom right here because I want to go ahead and add the piece of material strip and show you how I do that. So, and I want it to go over the top of these bottom areas. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this part right here. And when you wrinkle this over and fold it and glue it down, it just adds such character, I mean, look at Rowdy up here. He's got beautiful, I think, I love him, beautiful character because of the wrinkles in him. So, okay. I have this old piece of material here that has some black stains on it, and I just think they'll look good in this part up here. So I'm going to cut it. And I just got a piece of really flimsy material so I can kind of do what I do with the tissue paper. So I can kind of maneuver it where I want it as I glue it. It's a little thick, so I'm thinning it out a little bit. Okay, let's try some of that. Get it going, getting stuck on there, and then we can cut and move as we want. I'm kind of globbing it on. I need to put some more red right there so that I can, so it'll stick and I can maneuver. Oh man, that's almost the perfect size, isn't it? I'm just going to glob some more over the top of it, just so it can kind of saturate in. I can kind of move it. Sometimes these take on a little life of their own because, you know, it's kind of hard to make paper and material do what you want it to do. So sometimes it's its own little creature when you get done. I probably laid this down when I did the first one. I don't know. I've had it for years. And I'm trying to do it standing up. I think I'm just going to leave that on there and not cut it off. I'm just cutting some little irregular notches out of it. I just don't want it to look perfect. I still got a lot of molding to do here. I will tell you right now, this material has a lot of, it is polyester, so it's not just really soaking it up like I would like. So if you guys ever decide you're going to be crazy and make you a rowdy rooster, you might find some cotton or muslin or something like that that'll saturate a little more. I am going to make it obey me. But it is wanting to pop up where it's kind of wanting to be waterproof underneath. And I'm just going to keep manipulating it. Okay, I'm just going to go on to something else. Let that dry a little bit, and then maybe I can push it down. Got a little circle of it down here I want to put on. I do want it in a circle, so I'm cutting it. Right here. A little cheek. Might be his ear too, you know. Chickens have ears over here that are just like little vent holes. Ear vents. Ooh, you guys, I'm making a mess. Milkshake, do not get up here, okay? I know you're down there thinking about it. Okay. Can you guys see beauty starting to emerge? You're probably going, no. It's okay. It's beauty in the eyes of the beholder. There's some map down here that's not covered up. I'm trying to pull it down. I want all the map covered up. It just, you guys, this would be zippity doo-dah if you had a piece of cotton or even, what do they call that? Gauzy Not rice paper. What's that stuff called? That gauzy stuff. Cheesecloth. That would be good. Spray some, inks on it or something. Okay. Now, I won't go longer than 30 minutes. It's 23 minutes. So let's do something else real quick. You know what? I should just stop it now and come back when I've almost got this all done and show you where I'm at so it's not such a long video, okay? I'll do that.